Greetings to our television partners across America and around the world. Our topic today is the President's war against the Jews. President Biden claims he is a lifelong friend of the Jewish people and a Zionist. But these empty words of cover for his lifelong war against the Jewish people. For many American Jews, the months since October 7th have felt like a horror movie as they watch with increasing alarm as their President Joe Biden, for whom many of them voted, seems to throw Israel under the bus. The UN report from its Office of the Special Representative of the Secretary General revealed what Israel has been saying for months, namely, that Hamas committed the most vile sexual violence and torture on October the 7th, and such treatment likely continues to be perpetrated on hostages. Experts from the United Nations, an organization that is consistently hostile toward the Jewish state, actually found, quote, clear and convincing information that some hostages have been subjected to various forms of sexual violence, including rape, sexual torture, and sexualized cruelty, inhumane and degrading treatment, and it also has reasonable grounds to believe that such violence may be ongoing, end of quote. In reaction, Joe Biden's State Department chose to level the charge of sexual abuse at Israel. Indeed, Biden briefly expressed empathy with Israel after the vicious attack, but since then, along with his Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, Biden has been working at breakneck speed to undermine Israel in its existential battle against Iran, funded by Hamas and Hezbollah terrorists. This campaign has now extended to official blood libels about deliberate Israeli campaigns of genocide, famine, starvation, baby killing, and sexual abuse, culminating in the administration's betrayal of Israel and siding with Hamas at the Security Council. In the blink of an eye, President Biden went from framing Hamas as a, quote, pure and unadulterated evil, end quote, to putting immense pressure on Israel to stand down, cease fire. That pressure from the president against Israel is not of recent origin. More than 40 years ago, Joe Biden prompted one of the most famous phrases ever uttered by Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin. In a private session with the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in 1982, Senator Biden threatened Prime Minister Menachem Begin with cutting off U.S. aid if Israel did not stop, quote, settlements in Judea and Samaria, end quote. Prime Minister Begin responded to Senator Biden saying, "Don't threaten us, the Jewish people, with cutting off your aid. It will not work. I am not a Jew with trembling knees. I am a proud Jew with 3,700 years of civilized history. Nobody came to our aid when we were dying in the gas chambers and the ovens. No one came to our aid when we were starving to create our country. We paid for it. We fought for it. We died for it. We will stand by our principles. We will defend them, and when necessary, we will die for them again, with or without your aid," end quote. President Biden's scorn of Israel's current Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is significantly more vocal, referring to Netanyahu as, quote, a bad blankety blank blank blank. That's a curse word that he used. Language that is difficult to imagine him using about any other leader of a friendly foreign state. More recently, President Biden, as he swaggered his way out of the State of the Union speech, told Blinken and others, quote, I told him, Bibi, and don't repeat this, but you and I are going to have a come to Jesus meeting, end of quote. President Biden knew he was on a live microphone and admitted as much. He wanted the world to know exactly what he thinks of Israel's prime minister, and to broadcast that he was putting the squeeze on Israel to force it to forego its ability to defend itself. In fact, this has been Biden's posture from day one. Just one day after October the 7th slaughter, Secretary of State Blinken, in concert with Turkey, called for a ceasefire from Israel on the evening of October the 8th. 2 days later, Biden's National Security Council spokesman called on Israel to show restraint and take only, quote, necessary and proportionate action to defend itself. The inconvenient truth here is that there was a ceasefire on October the 6th. Hamas broke it with financial and military assistance from Iran. Iran is a terrorist state that is flush with billions of dollars in sanctions relief as a direct result of Biden's disastrous policy of gifting the Islamic Republic with cash. On November the 14th, the administration extended a sanctions waiver allowing Iran to access $10 billion. U.S. spokesmen have repeatedly been unable to deny that money delivered by President Biden to Iran were not used in funding the October 7th attack against Israel, because those funds most certainly were used. The God of the Bible is a God of covenant, who keeps covenant for 1,000 generations. He has made this covenant with the state of Israel and the Jewish people. Quote, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you, end of quote. God has said concerning the Jewish people, quote, he that touches you touches the apple of my eye. America, in its present abuse of Israel and the poison of anti-Semitism flowing out of our universities into the streets of this nation, are flirting with the wrath of God. Wake up, America. Wake up. If we don't use our freedom to defend our freedom, we're going to lose our freedom. End of quote. That's God's word for this week. I'll see you Sunday morning live over the internet at 8:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook, YouTube, or our website at Hagee Ministries. I'll see you Sunday morning.